What is up, guys? Today is the Oscars. This is a last-minute buzzer-beater predictions day of, so if you're watching this, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be giving my quick last-minute predictions of who's going to win and what movies are going to win in this year's Oscars. I saw pretty much every single movie that's nominated, minus a couple. So let me go through some of the bigger categories. So right off the bat, let's start with actor in a leading role. So let's go through these. Right now we got the nominees as Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Colman Domingo for Sing Sing, Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Now, The Apprentice was the only movie on this list that I didn't get a chance to see, but I saw all the other ones. So going through these in order here, we got Adrien Brody in The Brutalist. So he won for a Golden Globe for leading role. Personally, I think that Adrien Brody is a great actor, and he's very good in the movie. I just didn't think that his character was all that interesting or fascinating. I felt like it was a very one-note character, and as good as Adrien Brody is in it, I just really didn't like the character that much. But if we're just going off performance, it was a good, solid performance, but nothing that crazy to me. Next, we have Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. He was greatly casted as Bob Dylan in this movie. I thought that he completely embodied him and absolutely knocked it out of the park with this performance. I thought that he had the look, and I thought that he had the same sort of presence and same sort of speaking style as Bob Dylan, so he definitely did his research, and I think that Timothée Chalamet is, and I'm gonna get hate for this, but I really do think he's slightly overrated. He's a good actor. I would even say he's very good, but the praise that he gets and getting cast in a lot of things, I just think that it's a little premature. But with that being said, there's no shade or hate from me. I think that he was excellent in A Complete Unknown. Going on, we have Colman Domingo in Sing Sing. This movie was sort of a movie I felt that went under the radar, but I think Colman Domingo as the lead did a fantastic job as that sort of level-headed, good soul of a person in this prison system that he's in. Whatever he did, in the movie, I think that he was very good. He has a good stage presence to him, a good screen presence, and there's something very, calming, I guess you could say, about him as an actor. So I did like his performance. And then finally, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave. Ralph Fiennes, to me, is goated. He's one of the best actors out there. Everything he does, I feel like he holds it down. Every movie I've seen him in, he always does an excellent job, and he has quite the range. And in this movie, he's playing a cardinal, tasked to find a replacement for the Pope. And he really holds it down. He's very good in this movie. I liked his performance. The movie was solid. I know people rave about it. It's a good movie. I didn't quite like the ending, but I have a whole video on that. You can click the top right of the screen right now to check it out. But I thought that the movie was pretty solid. But going back to his performance, excellent actor. Always holds it down. Very interesting the way he played him, and I liked it. And then we have Sebastian Stan as Donald Trump in The Apprentice, telling his story. From the clips I saw, I think Sebastian Stan, just from clips, did an excellent job embodying Donald Trump, and with his mannerisms and how he spoke, it seemed like he really nailed it, like a young version of Trump. So I think that he did a great job. Now, who's gonna win this? This is tough to say. Personally, I think that Timothée Chalamet is going to win. I feel like just for the narrative, but also he did give one of the best performances. So my prediction is going to Timothée Chalamet. But who do I think should win for this? I would still say Timothée Chalamet of the listed ones. I think everybody did a great job in this category from what I saw, but Timothée Chalamet, I think, takes the cake. Next, we have actor in a supporting role. So we have Yura Borisov from Anora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. So going down this list, we have Yura Borisov, sorry if I'm butchering that name, for Anora. So Anora is probably one of my favorite movies of the year, and I think that Yura Borisov, he in the movie plays sort of a henchman, I guess, of a bigger figure, if you will, and he has excellent chemistry with Mikey, Madison in the movie as well. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend checking it out, but I think that he had a very sort of subtle performance, and I think he did an excellent job as a straight-edged great supporting role that really ended up being very surprising. Next, we have Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. This movie was one that I really enjoyed as well. So, A Real Pain kind of follows two cousins, and one played by Jesse Eisenberg, and then his cousin is Kieran Culkin. So, Kieran Culkin in the movie, he is just a firecracker, and he's basically playing the same kind of role he always plays. He's basically Roman Roy from Succession, if you've seen that. So, but he's just completely up and down. He's all over the place in this movie. And that's what makes him so entertaining to watch on the screen. I think that's what makes him such a great actor. I don't want him to get typecast, though. I felt like he was playing the exact same character that he always plays, but I think that he was very good in the movie. And his performance has a lot of nuances to it, more than meets the eye, especially with the information that they give us throughout the movie and some of the traumatic sort of, this guy is broken and you can tell, but it's just subtle enough that it isn't overbearing of the character. It's just part of him. And so I really like that aspect of it. Edward Norton, the complete unknown. Edward Norton's a good actor, but not, I mean, again, he's such a side character. And of course, I know he's in the supporting role. That's what a supporting role is, but not very memorable. Not very interesting. He plays Pete Seeger, one of the folk stars of that time, alongside Timothée Chalamet, and sort of helps kind of guide him throughout the early stages of Bob Dylan's career. I didn't think that he was that memorable. He plays a good job, but nothing that crazy, to be honest. It didn't really stand out to me this year. Guy Pearce in The Brutalist. So I think that Guy Pearce gives an excellent performance in this movie. He's a rich capitalist. He's kind of has hired Laszlo, which is Adrien Brody's character, to help him build these structures in the city that he's in. And he's sort of this big capitalist, this Daniel Playview sort of character from There Will Be Blood, kind of like that, just like a very blood-sucking capitalist, if you will. And he just played that sort of old-timey kind of character amazingly. I felt, as in terms of supporting role, I felt that he stole the screen every time he was on it. I really enjoyed his performance. I think Guy Pearce really held it down, and he had the look, he had the mannerisms of somebody from that time. So yeah, this was a very underrated performance, I feel, this year. Very good. And then I did not see Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice, but he, I believe, plays the right-hand man of Trump in this movie. I forgot his name, but yeah, something Roy, I believe. But yeah, of all these, though, again, a solid list of characters here. There's a few movies that I feel, or supporting roles in this year that I feel should be on this list, but of the ones we have here, I believe that Kieran Culkin is going to win. I feel like he's kind of been sweeping the other awards, and yeah, I just think that of the characters that were played and portrayed, I think his is probably one of the more interesting ones as well. So yeah, I think Kieran Culkin is going to win for supporting role. But who do I think I would want to win? I think Guy Pearce should win this award, personally, because his performance was great. So that's who I want to win, but yeah, I think it's going to go to Kieran Culkin. Going on, we have actress in a leading role. The nominees are Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Karla, Sofía, Gascón, and Emily Pérez, Mikey Madison in Anora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here. So I saw all these movies except I'm Still Here, so I can't comment on that. But going up from the top, Cynthia Erivo from Wicked. So Wicked was a surprise for me. I really actually ended up enjoying the movie a lot, and I think Cynthia Erivo is an incredible singer, and she does very good in the movie. So it's a musical about the Wicked Witch of the West, basically from Wizard of Oz, sort of a origin story of her. And yeah, Cynthia Erivo plays Elphaba, aka the Wicked Witch. But yeah, excellent performance. I thought she did very good, and amazing singer. She can really belt out a song. Karla, Sofía, Gascón, and Emilia Pérez. I feel like Emilia Pérez probably one of the worst movies of last year. And her performance, so Karla Sofía Gascón is mediocre at best. Really not a great singer. And yeah, this one's also a musical about a gangster turned trans, basically. A gangster man turned into a woman. And it's a musical. I don't know. It's as weird as it sounds. I don't get it, and not just because the trans thing, literally the movie is just all over the place. But I'll get to that when we talk about the actual Best Picture nominations. But yeah, I think it was mediocre. She's not very good in the movie, not a great singer, and a meh actor at best. Not bad, but just not very good, and nowhere close to being nominated for this. It's crazy. Mikey, Madison, and Anora. So Anora basically follows a stripper that ends up kind of falling in love with a rich foreigner that comes in. Yeah, it seems like it sounds like a weird storyline. It's very good though. It's excellent. Yeah, I think Mikey Madison is she did a great job. Great actress in this movie. I really haven't seen her in anything else, or I may have. She looks familiar, but off the top of my head, I can't remember what else I've seen her in. But she is incredible in this movie. Definitely deserves to be on here. Played all range of emotion, and it's just, you really feel for the character. And then Demi Moore in The Substance. Substance was probably one of my favorite movies of the year. And I think Demi Moore did an excellent job. Very good acting from her. The Substance pretty much follows a person, older, sort of aging actress, if you will, and she decides to undergo a procedure called The Substance, which basically transforms yourself into two people. One, a younger, better-looking version of yourself, and then you remain yourself, and you transition between the two every 7 days. It's a very interesting topic, but she does a great job in this movie. So, excellent role. And then finally, Fernanda Torres. I didn't see this movie, but I heard she was very good. So of these, this is going to be a toss-up between Mikey Madison, Fernora, and Demi Moore. I think one of those two is going to win. There's a possibility that Fernanda Torres might win as well. She won in the Golden Globe, but I think that it's going to be Demi Moore. I feel like the narrative of she hasn't really won a big award in her career, even though she's been acting for a long time. I feel like that narrative is going to overwhelm the narrative of a younger up-and-coming actress like Mikey Madison. So I think that alone, and her performance was very good. So I think Demi Moore is going to take it, but Mikey Madison might also take it as well. Not as well, but they're not giving out 2 awards, but you know what I mean. She might take it instead. But I'm going to stick with Demi Moore. And then next we have actress in a supporting role. So we have Monica Barbaro in A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande in Wicked, Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini in The Conclave, and Zoe Saldana and Emilia Pérez. So starting out from the top, Monica Barbaro plays Joan Baz in the movie. She is really good in the movie. I think that I really enjoyed her performance, although I would have rather seen Elle Fanning on here. I feel like her performance was very good in the movie. Probably better than hers. Not to compare. They were both very good, but hers really stood out. But Monica Barbaro did a good job. I think that she definitely had she was perfect casting for her character as well as that singer. So yeah, no, she did very good. Ariana Grande, same with Cynthia Erivo. She did a great job. Excellent singer, very operatic, and she plays Galinda, if you will. This sort of airheaded kind of popular girl in the school sort of character. But yeah, great singer. She does a good job, but I don't know if she's Oscar-worthy. It was an Oscar-worthy performance, but very good. Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, I feel like she was more interesting than Laszlo, our main character, to be honest. But yeah, I think she did very good. You really felt for her character. She's basically like handicapped, or she has a disease of some kind. And yeah, you really do feel for her. She had that sort of grit and toughness to her in the role, and I think that she portrayed it very well. Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. This actress did a very good job, but she has maybe 1-2 sentences throughout the whole movie. She really doesn't show up at all. So it's really hard to, judge her performance very much. From what I saw, she was very good, but I'm talking like 2-3 minutes of screen time throughout the whole movie, which is what a supporting role should be, but this was on the short end. But I think she did very good. And then Zoe Saldana, Emilia Pérez, the worst person on this list. I think Zoe Saldana is a good actress. She's not good in this movie. Not a good singer either. I just have a lot of hatred for this movie for so many reasons. But yeah, no, she's not great in this movie. Definitely not worthy of being nominated for an Oscar of all things. Granted, again, she's a good actress, but not Oscar-worthy performance, not even close. All right, so of these, I believe that Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, I can definitely see her winning over all the other ones. I feel like that I can't see Ariana Grande winning, and I can't see Monica Barbaro winning either. And then Isabella Rossellini barely had any role in it, and then Zoe Saldana, I really don't want her to win. or that movie to win anything, but there's a possibility that she might. So I'm either between Zoe Saldana and Felicity Jones. I think I'm gonna just go with the oddball pick here and choose Felicity Jones for this one. And then before we get to the best picture, a real quick segue to cinematography. So I think cinematography, when it comes to that, we have The Brutalist, Lol Crawley, Dune Part 2, Greg Fraser, Emilia Pérez, Paul Ami, Maria, Ed Lockman, and Nosferatu, Jaron Blashke. So, yeah, I did not see Maria, but I did see all the other movies. The Brutalist looked very nice. It's a really beautiful looking movie. It has this sort of film grain to it, so it looks like an older movie. So I really did like the look of the movie. It was really nice. Dune Part 2, excellent visuals, excellent cinematography, of course. We all know that. Emilia Pérez barely had cinematography. I don't know why it's up there. It's over The Substance, over Nickel Boys. I don't get that. Why Challengers, all these movies I just named had better cinematography than Emilia Pérez any day of the week. It barely had any kind of cinematography to it. Maria, I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. And then Nosferatu had great visuals. Really captured this gothic, dark horror tale. So of those movies, I think I can see The Brutalist winning, but I think Dune Part 2. I think that's what's going to win cinematography for sure. And then finally, wrapping up here with the best picture, the award of the night. Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Pérez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. So I saw all these movies except I'm Still Here. Now, it always amazes me how many movies they put in this category, but there's a lot of movies that deserve it. So, Anora, like I said, one of my favorite movies of the year. I think that it's something about it just is so entertaining to watch, and how Sean Baker, the director, was able to put together the story and make it interesting and make it flow so well. It has great pacing, excellent performances, and the ending is just tragic in a very subtle way. And I just really love the chemistry. And it's one of those movies I could have continued for another hour and I would have not minded. And it's already was long enough as it is. So yeah, I really like this movie. Again, it follows a stripper that ends up falling for a person visiting from another country, and they kind of like fall in love sort of, so she thinks, and then they go on this big sort of journey with other people, and it's you got to check it out. The Brutalist, it follows Adrien Brody's character, Laszlo, coming in as an architect to the United States as an immigrant, and he gets hired by Guy Pearce's character to come and help him create some structure, some buildings for him, and things kind of transpire between him and his colleagues and everything, and it just sort of follows his story as well. A Complete Unknown, it's the Bob Dylan biopic. Going back to The Brutalist, I thought that it was decent movie. I thought the ending left a lot to be desired, but it's a really good looking movie with a lot of good performances. Just a tad too long. 3.5 hours is a bit much for this movie, and the subject matter's not the most interesting, but they made it pretty interesting as much as they could. And there was some compelling moments in it, but it left a little bit to be desired for me, so it was okay. A Complete Unknown is the Bob Dylan biopic, like I said. Again, same kind of thing. Biopics are kind of whatever for me. This movie had really good performances. Again, Timothée Chalamet, excellent performance, but yeah, it was okay. It's kind of a movie that I forgot about the next day. It was well done, well put together, but it was missing that heft. It was missing those memorable moments, and biopics always usually fail in that regard. This one didn't really have that moment, you know? It was just kind of goes through the motions and then just kind of ends. So, yeah, it was, again, decent in my opinion. Conclave, I didn't like the end, but it follows a bunch of cardinals, and they're trying to vote on who's going to take up the position of the Pope. And it's very politics-oriented in terms of what's going on between the Cardinals. Great performances, incredible cinematography, beautiful looking. The ending's sort of meh, and the movie is slow, though. I did like it. This one was good, just right in the middle. You know, I didn't like the end. The end kind of ruined it in a certain way. Pretty decent. Dune Part 2, a lot of people put this as their favorite movie. It's the predecessor, obviously. It's the next movie to Dune Part 1, and people love this movie, call it a masterpiece. I think it's very good. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. And it's not my favorite movie of the year. I think it's very good in a lot of ways. Hits in a lot of things. Great soundtrack, great performances, awesome cinematography, all that good stuff, but not my favorite of the movie. I think, but very solid. One of the best, like top 10 of last year for sure. Emilia Pérez, terrible. Worst movie on here. I don't know why it's on here. I can go on and on and on. I also made a video about this, so if you want to check that out, please be sure to hit the little eye right now on the top right. But yeah, no, I just didn't like that movie at all. Don't know why it's up here. Just terrible on so many different levels, and just a political move on all ends. I'm Still Here, didn't watch that. Nickel Boys tells the story of two boys, or rather one particular boy, and his journey through childhood in a way in Florida as a minority figure, and yeah, it's one of the coolest looking movies because the fact that it's really shot in first person, so you literally see it through his eyes. I haven't seen a movie like that in a long time, and they used it to excellent effect. So extremely effective movie, a little slow, but I enjoyed it. I thought that it was one of the most compelling movies of the year for sure. The way it was made, the way it was crafted with the first person angle, you don't see that very often. The Substance, again, one of my favorite movies of the year. Incredible cinematography, some of the best prosthetics I've seen. I like to see horror movies be nominated, though I feel like horror movies really get lost in the traction of other movies, but horror movies bring some of the best acting, some of the best performances and ideas out there, so I think they deserve more credit, and I'm glad to see The Substance on there. One of my favorites. Amazing movie. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't. It's insane, it's grotesque, but in the best way. One of my favorites. And then finally, Wicked. Excellent movie. I really enjoyed it. Great set pieces. They really put their heart and soul into making it authentic and to just really telling the story in these environments that are built from scratch. And just you could tell that the performers and Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, everybody else really enjoyed and just took in all the subject matter, all the songs and everything. So great movie in that regard. So there you have it. There's the list of movies, and which one do I think is going to win? So if Emilia Pérez wins, I don't think I'll ever tune into the Oscars ever again. Dune Part 2, I feel like a lot of people would want that to win, and it could possibly win. I think it's either going to come down to The Brutalist or Anora. I think those two movies are going to be neck and neck here. I have a feeling that The Brutalist is of the two is more Oscar baity, if you want to call that, and they usually fall for the Oscar bait. The Brutalist is the safe pick. Anora is the more of the wild card pick, but it's been winning other awards. But I'm just going to go with the safe pick here, just because I want to be correct. I want to say, yeah, I got this right. So I'm going to go with The Brutalist. Brutalist wins Best Picture, and there you go. There's my nominations in order. Let me know what you think, and hope I'm right tonight. But let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next video.